Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Mo. I'm a working mom who's on a journey to reach financial freedom. Here we're going to be talking about all things budgeting, debts, and savings. We're loosely Ramsey inspired, all while keeping in mind that this is real life. So without further ado, welcome to The Real Budget. Okay, so as promised, I am back with my first debt confession update. This is just 1 month, well, maybe about a half a month of being intentional, of working on our debt. If you haven't seen my original debt confession, go back. It's the first video I posted on my channel. And that was from February, where we started in the middle of the month. And I am going to be updating this at the beginning of March. So I found this free printable tracker online. I know that this is supposed to be used for each individual debt, but as you guys know, I have a ton of individual debts, so it would take us like 30 sheets to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write out everything that I paid this month and kind of get us an update just on this one sheet. Here is the original debt tracker that I filled out. Now, the ones that didn't have minimum payments or due dates, I left off because we didn't work on those this month. I'm simply going to be writing the ones that we did. Okay, just so we don't get confused, I'm going to write up here March of 24 debt update. And then I'm not going to bore you guys out by like saying each one, so I'm just going to go ahead and list them all right now, and maybe I'll put a little music in the background for you while I speed it up. And so what I'm going to do first is list out the starting balances, just like I did on the original debt confession. So let's speed through that too. Okay, I'm gonna skip over to this little note section. And what I'm gonna write here is what the minimum payments were on these. Okay guys, well, here are all the debts, the amounts, and then the minimum payments this month. We made all of these minimum payments. The largest one you can see right here is our lawyer gets $1,200 a month. That's because we pay her weekly, $300. There was 4 weeks that we paid that, so $1,200. So we paid all of this. Now, out to the side here, I'm going to write the extra debt payments we were able to make. For iPhone 1, in addition to the minimum, we put an extra $99.73 for a total of $133.18. And that means that we brought this to a zero balance. Yay! So there is our first snowball. Now I'm gonna be snowballing that into my student loan number 3 because as you can see right here, it was just a restructuring month, so my minimum payment is going to go back way up. So I'm going to snowball that extra $33.45 into that. Let's see, extra capital 1S In addition to the $25, we put an additional $225 for a total of $250. And now that balance is $256.13, $6.13 in interest. All right, also, in addition, we got our tax refund that went straight to this. So in addition to making our $200 payment this month, we also paid $3,018 for a total of $32.18. That brought this balance down to $1,888.37. Now, before I go any further, I want to put a disclaimer out that when I started this channel, I started in the middle of the month of February, and I had not really been paying too much attention to our finances before, so I tried my best to deep dive into every account that we had, what the updates were at, what the minimum payment, the balance was at, and that's how I compiled this first list. Well, after going through this for about 2 to 3 weeks, I have now realized that there were a couple of things that I messed up the original balance on, but it wasn't off by much, so we're just gonna leave them and I'll explain them as we get there. For example, some things we had already made our February payment and I put the balance as if it was lower. Anyway, small mistakes. And then let's go ahead and address the student loan number 1. This was the only thing I think we were actually behind on when we started this. So I made extra payments to get it caught up, but it did not reduce the balance. So let's just go ahead and do this one real quick. In addition to the $67.34, we also put $134.68 for a total of $202.02. And that got that current, but with interest, and I'm sure there was a fee for being late, which I really hate that happen, guys. We try our best, and we normally don't let things go late. Obviously, we have a bunch of debt, but we always pay our minimum payments. So anyway, this is the consequence of it. This is what happens. So it was at $6,177.28, and now even after paying that extra, it's $6,210.68. So learn my lesson there. All right, other than that, if we see balances going up, I'll explain why. Okay, so iPhone 1 paid off. iPhone 2 is down to $303.54. Amazon is down to $339.99. And as you can see, guys, that's the minimum payment. So after March, this will be gone. Capital One S, I already put that. iPhone 3, it is down to $498. Our bread loan is down to $537.94. Credit One Amex. This is one that I accidentally wrote the wrong balance beforehand. Nothing we were late on. I did go back and double check that. So after we made our minimum payment, the actual real remaining balance on this is $873.08. So we'll just have to chalk that up to being a new budgeter and know that this is the real balance, and that's how it's going to be going forward. Same with this one at $902.12. And then Quicksilver is not any higher, but I had already written down the amount after we made the payment. Lawyer. So we make the $300 payments every week. We made 4 in February, so we did pay $1,200. I had just written down what we owed her remaining to get to the retainer in the middle of the month. So we're at $1,500. And I'll have to go double check on that because the system it goes through a little bit behind. So, but at least $1,500 is what we owe right now. We pay $300 a week, so hopefully that'll be gone pretty soon too. I already did this student loan number 1, our Amex. Same thing here, 11,227.92. We did not miss this payment. I just had already written the balance down after we had paid it. Student loan number 2, that one is down to 26,630.92. Our SUV is down to 33,337.89. And student loan number 3 was in a restructuring, and it was $5 to get it restructured, and I did not make interest payments this month. And that was a learning lesson for me here. And I think for a lot of people that are new to budgeting, that's one of the most important things, because if the minimum payment they have listed is not covering your interest and just a little bit of the principal, your balance is going to keep growing. So here I paid what it said was due, but interest on almost $128,000 in student loans did hit this month. So now, even after making that payment on time, I'm sitting at 128,064.96. Okay, so that one was just a learning lesson there for me. Since doing this, I have done some math and calculated out how much I'm gonna get charged in interest on this per month. It's a little tricky because this one's broken down into like several individual student loans from all 3 of my degrees, and they all have different interest rates. But I was able to do that math, and the minimum payment they have set is enough to cover the interest, but I'm gonna try to pay at least like $20 more. So in the future, I'm gonna pay a minimum of $600 a month on this. There's the progress I made. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but let's run the numbers, and I think you guys might be kind of surprised. I have mixed feelings after doing this, so you'll see why in just a second. The total starting balance of all of these was $218,902.22. And then after this month of paying off debt, it is down to $214,279.49. So progress there. That's great. That actually makes me super happy. But I'm gonna dive into how much we actually paid over here, and then subtract these 2 numbers and tell you how much went to, I mean, it's hard this month because I did mess up on some of the beginning balances, but I know a lot of this is going to interest. So if I can compare these numbers, it's just gonna motivate me. Everything we paid this month in debt added up to be $6,966.16 just this month towards debt. Now, for those of you that can do the math in your head real quick, you'll see that this difference is much less than that. So when you take this and subtract this, that means that my overall debt reduction is less $4,622.72. Okay, so I am super, super happy about this. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a blessing to see about $5,000 less on the debt we owe. But when you compare that to the $6,000, almost $7,000 that we actually paid this month, it stings a little bit. This serves as a lot of extra motivation for me. Now, if anybody's curious, or if anybody can do the math in their head quickly to see how much in interest this actually was, like minus my mistakes, I would be so curious to know. But what I can tell you is that going forward in April, we're going to be able to see exactly how much interest I am paying every month. I appreciate everybody who's here. I have so appreciated reading all of the encouraging comments. You guys are the best. I hope maybe I can inspire other people like you guys are inspiring me. So please press that subscribe button, press alerts. I'm gonna upload this today, and then we're gonna dive into my plan for March. So without further ado, it was good to see you again, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.